So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Now, in case you guys are wondering, I am a South African, but I am currently living in Malaysia because I move up and down. So sometimes, yes, affirmative action, unpacked. Yes, AI, that's what I'm going to be talking about. The AI is reminding me of what I must talk about. Okay, so I am going to start. So I want to talk about the BEE laws in South Africa. It is called Black. Oh, sorry, that was firecrackers, fireworks, and it's very scary. It's BEE, which is Black Economic Empowerment. That's what it's called. Now, these are affirmative action laws, and these laws, I don't want to go too much into this. You can watch all my other videos. I have a lot of videos on YouTube, same name, Celeste, this and that. You can go and look, or you can go look online what BEE means, because it's a big issue about it at the moment. So, Black Economic Empowerment. Hi. Okay, yeah. So, I'm not going to go into what it really exactly is, but just in general, it is policies that have been set in place to redress past injustices. So what the past injustices that have to be redressed are, during the apartheid time, non-white South Africans were excluded from economics and from politics. Politics meaning they couldn't vote, they couldn't have political parties, they had no representative in parliament, in the cabinet, nothing. They were just totally excluded. The white people made all the decisions for them. They had no say in anything, just had to keep quiet, and the white people will tell them what to do and what not to do. As for the economic, when it comes to economy, there was economic equity. During the apartheid, there was an economic equity in place. I did talk about this yesterday. I spoke very long about it. I'm not going to go through it again. You can go look on my video, my channel on YouTube. You can watch that video to see what it was actually about. But in a nutshell, it was where white people were given the economic equity. So like they had the affirmative action policies. The affirmative action policies were only for the whites, for the Afrikaner whites and the English-speaking whites. It was just for them. As far as the non-whites concerned, they were excluded totally. But now the BEE laws, now in the new South Africa, as we sit today, how this economic policy works is that everybody is included in the economics, everybody. The only difference is that non-white people have about, I think 70% of the affirmative action, they are 70% beneficiaries of this policy. Okay? And the whites have 30%. I think, I'm not sure, I forgot to look at the numbers, but it's something like that. But they are not excluded. You see the difference? During apartheid, non-whites were totally excluded. In this one, everybody's included. It's just that the equity is on the side of the non-whites. Okay, I think you'll understand that. If you're from Malaysia, you'll understand that. If you're from South Africa, somehow they don't understand that. But it's another story. Okay, so I want to talk about this now. BEE laws. Now, at first, I was very against any type of affirmative action. And the reason for this is because the reason I was against affirmative action is because I moved to Malaysia in 1990. South Africa became a democracy in 1994. But I remember in about 91 or 92, a delegation came down to Malaysia to study the Malaysian affirmative action because they wanted to take the Malaysian model of affirmative action and implement it in South Africa because it looks like it's working very well in Malaysia. And that is what they did. They took it and they brought it to South Africa. Now, I was against this because if you watch on TikTok, I did put out a short where I said, the reason I find that the BEE or affirmative action, but why the BEE laws or just affirmative action, why I find that it is flawed. The intentions are always good, but it is flawed because what eventually happens is the beneficiaries of the policy, they become entitled, complacent, and lazy. Now, I know a lot of you don't want to hear that, but that's just what it is. That is what I've observed. And then those who are not benefiting from it, like in this case, in South Africa's case, the white people, what happens to them is they become resentful, bitter, and they'll start claiming victimhood status. So this is already in 1992. I was already saying this because I was already living in Malaysia and I could see what was happening here. Exactly what I said now. Beneficiaries, entitled, complacent, lazy. Non-beneficiaries, resentful, bitter, and claim victimhood status. Lo and behold, same thing has happened in South Africa. If you go all over the internet, you will see the white people claiming victimhood status because they are not beneficiaries of the BEE policy. But the BEE policy, as I said earlier on, was implemented to redress past injustices. And these injustices were that non-whites were excluded from the economy. So they are here and the whites are here. So in order for them to catch up, they need an extra helping hand. Okay? Right. Now, like I say, at first I was totally against it. In a way, I am still against it. Not 100%, but maybe like 60%. Okay, now what made me change my mind to not be 100% against it, but maybe just like 60%? Okay, I just want to check another person. Right. So, right. So why am I supporting it now? And when I say supporting it now, I mean supporting it not necessarily as it stands now, because it's the way the policy is now, it needs to be tweaked. It needs to be tweaked because the way it stands now, I don't think it's going to achieve what it's supposed to achieve. But the concept of this affirmative action policy for South Africa, why I now support it is because, number one, yes, I think, given from what I'm observing and also from my own experience about non-white South Africans, the apartheid ended in 1994. We did have a TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Council, who got all the apartheid injustices to address it. But they addressed it in such a way that it was people just, the perpetrators of it just said what it was all about. They confessed to what happened, etc. And then we just said, okay, and let it go. It's not like the Holocaust where they caught the perpetrators and took them to trial and sentenced them and etc. No, we didn't. We were just like we forgave them. The thing is, what has happened is, yes, it's nice to think that we have forgiven. I'm going to use this word because it's just the truth. The white people. We think we have. Hi, all the new people. We think we have forgiven them, but we have not. And how I know this is because I have noticed, like, you forget about it, you continue with your life, and then something happens and it comes back. You remember, and it's like, it's not fair. Like example, I can see it now that these white people are all, oh, we are victims, 142 racial laws against us, oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. And I can see how this is insult to injury to non-white people. Because when this was happening to them, they could not claim victimhood status for years. And like I said, it was a worst case scenario. Oh yeah, I see this user, the same one, 364, blah, blah, blah. If you had a name, I'd probably invite you, but you're just a number. So it's a bit, maybe at the end of this, let me finish this first. So yeah, like I said, first, I didn't really get it, but I can see it now. And in hindsight, I mean, I've seen it before, but it never clicked. But now it has clicked. The reason this is it's such an insult to non-white people, it's because it's like saying, oh, just forget about what we did. Forget about the past, just forget it. It's not important. What is important now, it's us white people, because we are suffering now. It's about us. Your old suffering it's old. Let's let it go. It doesn't mean anything now. It's just, psh. This is what it looks like and feels like. And I can see when I see people's comments, like when the white people comment, it's very frivolous. They trivialize what happened, and it's only about how they are now being victimized, blah, blah, blah. And I can see with the non-white people how it's offensive. It's like the white people are literally telling the non-white people what they went through is nothing. Forget about it. It's a small matter. Move on. Things like that. Like I say, it's insult to injury. So that is why I can understand now why actually it should be redressed. Because it is, the non-white people have not forgiven the white people for what they did. And I'm sure many of you will agree. Many of you will agree. The whites feel, oh, we are oppressed now. But you are not oppressed, because you white people still can participate. This is the difference. Non-whites were not even allowed to participate, not at all. It's just there's a percentage, there's a quota on how much participation you can how much you can participate in. Yes, somebody said that Black people are currently dealing with a past trauma. That is so true, because you see, with trauma, you can oppress it. And then something happens and it triggers it and it comes back up. So this is what is happening now. When all this AfriForum and all this went to the US, and now everybody's talking about how the white people are being oppressed and genocide and blah, blah. This trauma is now rising back to the surface. And in my opinion, the only way, and then in this way, non-whites cannot move on. They cannot heal. They cannot forgive the white people, because I can see they are being the non-whites. It's traumatic. It's like they have to relive everything again, and irrespective of your age, because there is such a thing as inherited trauma, which is another topic for another day. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying now. In order for non-white people to forgive the past and to heal and to move on, the past injustices must be redressed. It has to. And this is what the BEE laws are trying to do. But like I said, the BEE laws are flawed as they stand now. And for those who were not here earlier on, hi, so many people, hi everybody, everyone has to be invited to talk. I'm sorry, I can't get everyone to talk. You can just write your little comments there. I see some people are commenting, thank you, yes, A12. Okay, I see you have a comment there, right. Anyway, and just please remember, when you write about a race, you always use a capital letter. So if you're talking about black people, the B has to be a capital. When you're talking about white people, it has to be a W. When you're talking about colored people, South African coloreds, the spelling is COLOUREDS. Because I just try to be respectful here, okay? So that, you know. Yes, there is a difference between trauma and victimhood. Yes, it's a very big difference. Spot on. Right. So as I was saying, it has to be redressed so that non-whites can forgive. And while white people don't care, all they want is to sweep it under the rug. It was not a big deal. Get over it. It's past. It's forgotten. We are now the victims. Look at us, boo hoo hoo hoo. Like I say, it's insult to injury, and it is not giving the non-white person the opportunity to want to forgive you. So it comes from both sides. The white people must start to accept what happened. It's not, and not trivialize it, and know and understand that it has to be redressed. And non-white people must know, if it gets redressed, you have to move on. You will have to forgive and move on. But at the moment, this is not happening. This is not happening. Okay? Right. So someone, this A12 was talking a lot. Stop feeling sorry for us. We are victims of our own decisions. Yes, you are. If you are young, you are victims of your own decision. I'm talking about people who lived through the apartheid. And also, the thing is, just because you, A12, just because you, example, I don't know if this is what you mean, even, why are we calling you non-white? A non-white is, in South Africa, we don't use the term people of color because we have colored people like me. Non-white means there's white people, and then non-white is Indian, Chinese, colored, Khoisan, anyone that is not a European. Okay? If you were South American, blah, 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 we would be saying non-white. And I'm surprised you don't know this. Didn't you go to school? This is the other thing. I did talk about this yesterday in my other video about the failing education system in South Africa. It's failing. People don't even know these things. They don't know. Exhibit A, okay? They don't understand the difference between white and non-white, okay? Right. But this could be a European person. Okay? Right. So, continuing. Like I said before, if you're going to write about someone's race, you write it in a capital. It's just respectful. I'm not going to entertain anybody who is rude on my platform. I'm going to block you. Okay? Right. Because I have to do this because the other day, TikTok actually wanted to remove one of my videos because the comments, not because of what I did, but because of how you people in the comments talk. So let's all try to be respectful of each other, okay? Right. I know we all speak different languages, and sometimes the language is a problem, and it's not because you're being rude, it's just because it's gets lost in translation. Okay, so anyway, so as I was saying, yeah, so the BEE laws, as it stands now, it's not working, because all that it does is, it's only a few people are benefiting from it. And those few people are already people that are up there. And up there, I mean, educationally, financially, status, socially. These people are already up there. So they are just benefiting. So, and they are very small, maybe 10% of the population. They are getting all the benefits. All the people down here who really need it, they are not receiving it. It's not really working for them. We can see that because it's 30 years already and the situation is worse. Okay? Right, it's worse. So I'm just going to give my humble opinion on how maybe it can be tweaked. But I did watch today Rob Hersoff, this guy that sometimes irritates me, but sometimes I like him. You know, it's like that with people. He was talking about some EED thing. He was explaining about vouchers, but it's too much because I need to actually go and have a proper study on it. Then I can talk about it. Hello, hi, welcome. Okay, I need to go and study a little bit further because I don't want to just talk and then I'm talking rubbish, okay? Okay, but just my opinion on how I think the BEE laws can be tweaked so that it is beneficial and fair, also to the white people, not just to the non-white people, okay? So what I would like suggest, and I mean, I'm just suggesting, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. I'm just putting it out there, you know, because we are just talking freely. Oh, yes, my T-shirt, End the Occupation. This is for Palestine and the thing that's going on there. I've had this T-shirt since 2016. It was given to me at the University of Irvine in California because I went there to do a talk. Okay, right. So, okay, so what I would tweak. So, okay, this is just an idea and I might not be able to articulate it properly as yet because I've not really fleshed it out properly, but I'm just going to put it out there first. What I would suggest is, let's say we keep this BEE laws for another 20 years. Okay, because apartheid was since 1948, 58, 68, 78, 88, 98. For as many, worst case scenario for as many years as the apartheid lasted. Okay, that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, another 20 years. Just another 20 years. Okay. And how it should work is that there should be a threshold, like meaning there must be an end date. So the end date will be 20th of June, example, 20 years from now. End. Finish. No more. No more redressing of the past. The past is the past. Throw it away. Goodbye. Okay? But how do we get there? So how we can do it is there should also be like levels. There should be, for every individual, every non-white individual, there should be a level that you must achieve, whether it's economically, socially, educationally, financially. Did I say financially? Okay. Just in case I didn't. You have to, that's the level. And as you go up the ladder, when you reach that level, so they have to put what it is, the threshold, whatever it is, let's say academically, whatever it is. Once you reach it, then your BEE benefit falls away. Let's say if it's for education. So let's say for education, there's a quota. But because you have already reached that level, which is on par with the white people, then you fall away. You don't get you don't get the benefits of BEE anymore. Or not on par with the white people, but there will be like I said, a threshold or a goal that has to be reached. Okay, so that means anything that's got to do with education, you do not get any special privileges. You are just, you and the white people, you are just the same now. For education. The same would apply. Then the next one would be for socially, financially. Okay? Well, financially would be economically. Okay? I hope you'll understand this. Does anyone understand? So example, like let's say me, like I do not need any of the BEE. I don't need that help. None. Because I'm already at the threshold of all the levels, whatever the threshold would be. Because I'm university educated. I make good money. And just to put it in layman's terms. So I don't need that extra help. But of course, maybe if I if I was physically disadvantaged, maybe I have one leg or two legs or whatever, that would be different. You know what I mean? I would still always have to be in BEE under whatever category that would fall. I hope you guys understand. So, because then that would mean all these people that are now, like we say, this 10% that are receiving most of the benefits, they will not fall under BEE at all. All your politicians, your rich non-white people, all these people will not be receiving any BEE. There's no quotas for them, none. They would be on par. You put your Gayton McKenzie and your Rob Hersoff there and your Ernst Roots because he's white, and you put your Sizwe, you put them all in one, they would be the same. It doesn't mean just because Sizwe is whatever, he's a non-white, he's entitled to BEE. No, in my world, he would not be entitled because him and Ernst are the same. They're on the same level. Same if I put Rob and Gayton, they would be because they have all achieved already what they were supposed to achieve. So this is how I would do it. Oh, and because someone else asked on my YouTube, they were calling me out for my race and my nationality. I am a South African citizen. I only have one citizenship, which is South African, and I have a green South African passport. I do not have a citizenship for any other country, and have no interest in being a citizen of any other country. I am South African. Okay, my race, I'm colored. Okay, right. Me, I'm a world traveler, so I live wherever I need to live. Currently, I'm in Malaysia. Next month, I might be somewhere else. I'm a nomad. Okay, I can live wherever I want to live. Okay, right. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions not about me or about other countries, about what I've spoken about, I don't like to have too long live streams, but I would like, if anybody has to say anything about what I said about the solution for BEE, about what they think that I said BEE makes beneficiaries entitled, complacent, and lazy, and it makes non-beneficiaries resentful, bitter, and they claim to be victims. Tell me what you think about that. Okay, any part of it. And then just to recap what I spoke about the South African BEE laws, Black Economic Empowerment. Now, when it says Black actually is not just the Black people. I don't know why they just put B, but it actually should include coloreds, Indians, females, LGBTQA++, the alphabet people, mentally and physically challenged people, which they were, before they were called previously disadvantaged individuals. But I could be wrong. It could only the BEE might only be for Blacks. I don't know. Somebody please tell me. But last time I looked, it was PDI. And although it's for all these other, like for other races, usually us coloreds and Indians, we are treated like the white people. We don't get any of that. But we don't make noise about it. We don't make a big fuss like the white people because we can see the situation. We can see the situation. So we're not selfish. We can see who needs it more. We can see that. Maybe we don't like it. We can but at the end of the day, you don't see us making noise because we can understand the situation. 5. Okay, I'm going to give another 5 more minutes and then I'm going to go off. Yes, it says there, join the debate. Come. It's not a debate, it's a discussion. Nothing to debate. It's just a discussion. Tell me what you think about when I said in order for non-whites to move on in South Africa, the past injustices have to be redressed. Tell me if you think that, yes, the past injustices must be redressed. Or do you think we should just, like the white people want us to do, to just forget about it, like it never happened, like it was a small matter, like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's the first question. Second question is, you can decide which one you want to answer. Second question is, what do you think about me saying that beneficiaries of affirmative action, they become entitled, complacent, and lazy, and non-beneficiaries become resentful, bitter, and they will take on a victimhood status? Tell me what you think about that. Okay, then the third one was another question I want to ask. What do you think about the solution I gave? The solution where there should be a cutoff date, which could be 20 years from now, to redress this past, which means keep the BEE, but then tweak it so that there's a threshold. And once the beneficiary of the affirmative action reaches that particular threshold, then they no longer get the benefits. Hi, tell me what you think about that. I'm gonna have to stop the live stream, and just remember, why? Okay, thank you. Okay, now the questions are coming in. Why do you feel so entitled to another race, entire culture? I don't get that. Why do you feel so entitled? I don't understand what you're trying to say. No, what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about affirmative action. How the people in South Africa, because I'm South African and I'm non-white, how the non-white people who receive this affirmative action laws tend to become entitled, complacent, and lazy. And then those who don't, which are the white people, they don't get it. They become bitter, resentful, and they like to claim. Then now they claim victimhood status, because that's what it does. If you don't get something, then you're like, oh, I'm a victim. And if you get something, then you're like, oh, look at me. It's human behavior. So I just want to know, what do you think about that? Like, don't ask me the question, you answer my question. That's actually, because I'd like to know what you guys think about it. Whether you have seen this happen, whether you've seen people who don't receive affirmative action being bitter about it and resentful about it, and like making themselves out to be victims, when you know they're not victims, because you can see they're doing quite okay. And then maybe you've seen those who are receiving the affirmative action who are like so entitled, because I am the privileged person, and who is then because they entitled, they become complacent, because it doesn't matter, because I'm just gonna get it because affirmative action. And they also become lazy because now they have it, and then they just sit there. What do you think? So thank you so much for those who commented. Thank you so much for those who joined. Thank you so much for those who said hi. Thank you so much for those who are here and just listening. I hope what you heard today is beneficial to you, that it makes sense. And if it doesn't, please, you must let me know. Okay? So thank you, and have a very beautiful and fabulous day. Cheers.